Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode here at Tribal Trades, the daily show coming at you from the great state of Florida. One hell of a drug. And wherever you are tuning in from around the world, I want to welcome you to the channel. Thanks for watching. Now today we're going to talk about crypto. Is it crashing? Is there going to be a great crypto crash before the election? What's going to happen in the month of November? We're going to look at historical data of how Bitcoin has performed in the month of November, particularly in halving years. And we're going to look at the charts. But before we do that, of course, as always, smash the like button. This does help get the content out to more people and does help support the channel. Really appreciate all of the wonderful comments that people leave. Do read those and respond to those. Appreciate that. And to all the questions there that get left, I do look to get back to those as soon as possible. Don't forget the cheat sheet for those of you who are new. And I do get asked about this every single day. Somebody does ask me, where is that located? Where can I find it? The cheat sheet is my crypto roadmap to success. That is linked in the description of this video and every video. If you look below this video in the description, it's the top link there, the cheat sheet. We've got trades in there. We've got resources. We've got free training. We've got free airdrop links in there as well. And of course, the Stocks with Josh Discord link is also there. If you have not already joined the most amazing Discord on the planet, I'm in there daily with the most amazing community. There are links below on how to get signed up for that. All right, well, let's jump into some news, and then we're going to jump into the charts, and let's have a look at how Bitcoin has performed in November, the November lows. And I specifically want to look at the halving years because we did this in September. And we talked about how the September low was within the first 8 days in a halving year. That's what happened. Okay, for October, we talked about how the October low was within the first 11 days, and that's what happened. It came in on October the 10th. And we talked about how the October highs came in between October 29th and October 31st in a halving year. And guess what? That's exactly what happened. So now we're going to look at November. When has the November low been in? On the 2nd of November, on the 3rd of November, and on the 2nd of November. And of course, was it the low until the end of the year? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Yes, it was. Just like we saw for October. Okay, and for September, it ended up being the low till the end of the year, which means the low for October was about 58,900, which we could expect now Bitcoin not to go below 58,900 by the end of the year. Not only that, is whatever the low happens to be in November here, that would tend to be the low till the end of the year, whatever that works out to be. And of course, it has come pretty early, the 2nd, the 3rd, and the 2nd. Now, also, I noted on these dates here that those dates were all weekdays, okay? Now, maybe that's just coincidence. Friday is a weekday. The 4th, the Monday, is a weekday. So are we going to see that happen either the low today on the 1st or on the 4th, a Monday, or are we going to see it on the 2nd or the 3rd, which is actually a weekend, which is what it has previously been? So are we going to see a bit of a dump either today, or we've already seen a bit of a pullback coming into the weekend, or the 4th, or is this it? Is this the low today for November? Let me know what you think. Do you think Bitcoin is going to repeat history just like it did in September, just like it did in October? Is it going to continue to repeat for November, or are we going to see a low beyond the 2nd and the 3rd? Gosh, we've only got a couple of days to find the answer to that question. Certainly, there's been some exciting things in the markets here. You can see the Bitcoin volume profile. You feeling all right, fam? Say after me. U.S. institutions are smart money. U.S. institutions holds the majority of the 1 million Bitcoin through Bitcoin ETFs. You need to relax. There is 99,870 Bitcoin buy orders down to 69K. And there is actually even more there now, down to 68K. There's a whole bunch of new orders that have come in because the whales keep buying up these dips. Retail is panic selling, and whales are coming in and buying and accumulating those dips. Now, also here, Huma Capital, the last week says has been characterized by monster inflows. The past 2 times we got similar daily inflows, we indicated a local top. Will this time be different in the presence of a big event? How much has been front run. So you can kind of see here when there's been monster inflows here and then here and then here, it ended up being a bit of a local top. And I think we're seeing that play out. We kind of pushed up into that 73K region, and then we've come back pretty sharply down to the 69K. And we definitely could come into the 68K region. And let's look at the liquidation heat map here. Certainly, as we can see, this is what I talked about yesterday. It exactly happened as I said I felt it would happen, with the lows being liquidated first and then going up, and I think we'll come up and hit these here. But there is some liquidity to the downside there. You got 28 million there, you got 12, 21 there. If we move to the 24-hour time frame, certainly you can see there we've got more, 27, 22, 20, another 25. So there's a fair bit you could come down and grab around this 68K area, 68K, all the way down here. Even could come down to the 67 and flush down and flush out this here as well. But the most leverage is above. There you see it there, 43, 45, 25 million there. And for those of you who are listening in the car, I apologize. I do try and remember. So the liquidations that I was talking about are below at 68K. And then we got liquidations above, right above price, immediately above price, 70,000, there's 17 million. And then at 71,000, there's 43 million. 71,000 again, 500, 45 million, 72,000, there's 57 million. So you can just see there that there is the liquidity above the bright lines there. Again, we go to the 12-hour time frame, 70,000 seems to be the area with the brightest yellow lines. But there is some below price. You do see at 68,600, 28 million, 21 million there, coming down to the low 68. There's a little bit, 10 million down there. So you can just see if you go, and I put this as a free resource. It's free on the internet, and it's there available. And I've linked this free resource in the cheat sheet so you can check out and get this link. And it's just a good idea to keep an eye on this. Again, there you can see 105 million will be liquidated at $73,000. And if you come down to the 68,000 level, you got 48, down at 68, you've got 66 million. So you can see how there can be there is money there to be picked up down in the 68 region. So I would not be surprised, just like I would not be surprised yesterday that we came down here and we tagged these levels here, 129 million at 71. I would not be surprised if we continued to come down into the 68 region. Look, could we even come down to 66 at 75 million down there at 66? Absolutely there. And even at 65, there is 44 million. So we could see a real flush down here between 68 to 66, 65,000. We could see a big flush down. But I tell you what, they aren't going to leave this 105 million just sitting up here. They are going to come and get that at some point. So any flush to the downside for me is just going to be an opportunity to buy the dip. And if we look at the Bitcoin price chart, this is what I exactly said yesterday. Here, the tribal trades trend line strikes again. I even drew a new one, and it really barely poked itself above that one and then came back down here. And we're certainly holding this for the moment, but certainly we could come down with 69,500. We certainly could come down to the 68,000 area here and touch these other trend lines that are here. And then certainly a little bit lower, we saw that leverage down to 66,500 would be the next level. So if we were to lose the 69 level here, then we're going to come down to the 68,000 level here where this other tribal trades trend line is there. It's just a quick $1,000 drop. If we were to lose this tribal trades trend line here, break down, push back up against it, reject it, I usually move to the hour or the 15-minute to see those moves. Then we would look to come back down to 66,500, which is the high for September, is the September high, which did hold last month. and may hold again, and that might be the final flush down, but we could certainly come down to the 65,000 area. Well, look, see there, it's the 50-day moving average, the simple moving average. And what did I teach yesterday? If you missed yesterday's show on how to trade the golden cross like a boss, and make sure you go back and watch that. I've also linked it to the education link in my cheat sheet, so you can check that out. But how I have talked about how historically, when Bitcoin has had a golden cross where the 50-day moving average goes above the 200-day simple moving average, that it tends to come back and retest the 50-day moving average. And I do not see any reason why it won't do this again. It will come back at some point to test this 50-day moving average. When it tests it, it's going to be higher because this is moving up all the time. And this can take some time to come down, unless we just get a straight flush down here to 64. But this would be the entry right here. Right now, 64,700 to the downside here. We also have the 200 EMA on the daily at almost 61,600. The 200 simples at 63,200. So there's some levels there of support that I would expect to hold. I would expect this to hold if we were to see Bitcoin come down, obviously. Now, what can we see here? This could move up and come into the 65 to 66K region, and Bitcoin flushes down, grabs all that liquidity that we saw on the liquidation chart, also tests the 50-day moving average like it usually does after there's been a golden cross. Before then, it takes up to the end of November. And tomorrow, don't miss tomorrow's show, because I'm going to share what historically has been a target for what Bitcoin could get to in a halving year for November by the November high. So don't miss that show. That's going to be coming up tomorrow. Certainly, if we were to see a quick flush, this could all happen over the next few days, right? Because if we see the November low come in, as it usually has in the first few days of November, by November 3rd, maybe November 4th on the Monday, maybe history will lengthen that. But generally speaking, even if you look back on this chart, the low for November historically for all years has come in by the 11th of November. So generally it has always come in early there. But certainly, as we can see here, what could happen, I want to prepare you so that you're ready, is we could see a flush down either today or over the next few days, a flush down into this area here. And if that happens, certainly I'll be ready with some buy orders there. And if we don't, and for some reason this ends up holding and they don't come after this rest of this liquidity, the longs, the over leveraged longs that are there to be liquidated, that's just money to be taken by the market makers, we could certainly see this come up here, and we could have some resistance here at 72, but then at 73, this is where there is a lot of short, over leveraged short positions that would get liquidated, which I believe that would push us over Bitcoin's all-time high. Then we'd be looking for a retest of that Bitcoin's all-time high before pushing on, I believe, up higher. All right, well, I'm going to leave it there today. As always, thanks for watching, and until the next episode, which is going to be the altcoin show in just a few hours. I'm going to have that out between 9:30 Eastern Standard Time today, so keep an eye out for that. And until then, happy trading.